Honduras is a developing nation. 42% of Honduras live on less than $2 a day.
San Pedro Sula is known to be the #1 murder capital per capita in the world.
You have extremely wealthy, you have a very small middle class, and you have a vast number of poor. Then you have a whole other class of folks. We call them here Bordos. These are squatter villages, people who don't own the land. They come in, they squat on property, build whatever they can. It could be tin, cardboard, wood, and these are the people who are the real poor here. Lots of children, very few fathers around, and this is the picture of Honduras right now. If you walk into the Bordeaux area, you'll find it's dark.
There's a electricity line that runs along the river, but it's not for them, but they take electricity from that by throwing a wire over the electrical lines.
We know the Bible said if there's someone naked and in need of clothing or in need of food or water, and you don't take care of that, then what good is that? Are you going to say, go, be blessed, naked and hungry and thirsty, and know there's a good God? How do you do that? How do you look at the poor? How do you look at the naked children going around with parasites and 6-year-olds the size of 3-year-olds? How do you go about preaching the gospel without showing them the gospel? It's so profound to us, it so changed us that we had to really deal with some issues within ourselves of what is valuable ministry.
Here in San Pedro Sula, we're surrounded by these really beautiful mountains. And that's kind of symbolic of the condition of these people. You know, they have this massive mountain that they can't climb on their own because they can't see a way up. What has to change is their mindset, their core, their inner belief system, showing them that there is another world beyond their borders and saying, you have a destiny, you have a purpose.
First thing that we began to tackle was feeding. We found a ministry that was feeding after Sunday school on Sunday morning. We expanded that project till now it's 5 days a week. These children at extreme risk can come in and receive a good meal. We saw the educational needs. We didn't have a school. We didn't have the resources to build a building. In a month and a half, we had the provision, we had the people, we had the place, we had all that we needed to do a school.
They're taking the children out of their living conditions for the day, and they're envisioning progress into their life. They're empowering them with new information that they've never had the opportunity to get. And then they're encouraging their genius, encouraging them to dream beyond their borders. I had this idea of a system like a food machine. Aquaponics is a combination of aquaculture, or raising fish in a controlled environment, and hydroponics, which is raising vegetables and not using dirt.
So I said, well, I got the place for it. We've got an orphanage that, you know, they're industrious.
It's called House of Mercy. It's really awesome because it's up on the side of a mountain, has a nice view. Our aquaponics system is basically built right on the side of the mountain.
This is Walter and Rubin and Samuel, Angel and Carlos. These are my buddies. These are also fishermen and gardeners.
What was really fun about this was us working together.
How many kids get to do this? I want to do this. Can I do this?
And then it caught the fish, and they pull up this fish, and that such a shout of joy as they're pulling these big old tilapia fish up out of there.
We have beefsteak tomatoes, we have Anaheim peppers. All these are going in our new salsa garden over here in the system.
Now these boys are excited. They're caretakers of their own food machine.
We're talking about 70 fish a day. We're talking enough vegetables. I mean, it's equal to about 2 acres of land. Now these kids are learning a market system. These kids who are coming from being rejected, neglected, and abandoned to being driving force of leadership in their country and their community.
The orphans that we've been working with at House of Mercy, they go to New Destiny. What if we could build the same type of aquaponics system that would not only provide food, but also provide more of a higher level of education for these kids?
It doesn't look like much right now, but our plans is to make a living machine or a living lab to provide science and biology classes for the kids and a food source to feed all 300 kids.
The most exciting part is the change that comes about when they can see that they actually can do something themselves.
We're teaching these children that come from abject poverty, systemic poverty in Honduras. They have no future, they have no hope, and we're going to show them a hope and a future.
With all that's happening, aquaponics, in the orphanage, in the schools, education, all the things that we're doing, see, we're opening up to a whole world of possibility.
We're changing the mindset of young children.
And they can take this and become anything they want to be. They can learn to dream where there were no dreams.
And now they can move forward and not just change their own lives. Listen, it's not just for them, it's for the rest of the world. Because if we can do it here in Honduras, we can do it anywhere.
What you've just seen is a preview of a full-length documentary that we're putting together for release on Building a Difference TV show. It's going to be hosted on over 20 networks around the world.
What this is going to do for us, getting this story out, is going to be tremendous because people need to know it. So what we need is we need the funding to produce this documentary. It's going to be hours and hours of production. It's going to show stories, layers of the story. It's going to open up whole new parts of the world in this. And so we need the production funding.
And we invite you to get involved with us, to partner with us. It takes a lot of money to do a really good quality documentary. And we have this incredible opportunity with Building a Difference TV show.
And they're going to tell our story. They've got networks, they've got places. It's an open door for us, and we're just asking you, would you be able to help us to fund the production of this project? If you would, it would be the key for us reaching in and doing more schools, reaching more kids, feeding more people, doing more projects.
It's also about encouraging the genius of the viewers that will see this documentary, and then they can get involved, and together we can definitely make a difference in the world.